Alright guys, so this is the pool heater that I had, or hot water heater that I converted to a pool heater, and I've converted it once more. There's the pool, and there are the heaters. So what are they attached to, you ask? Well, they're currently attached to this hot tub, or jacuzzi, whatever you want to call it. Now, the tub itself is in good shape, the outside, not very good shape. I got this for 25 bucks, so I'm not really too worried about how it looks. This was just an experiment to see what I could do with those heaters. As you can see, the outside looks rough. However, this controller works. The 1.5 horsepower pump works. The heater works. Everything works. The tub doesn't leak. It works. It's currently full of water. So what I do is I have that solar panel pumping water out of here into each one of those panels, going to the top and then the bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom, and coming out in here. I haven't measured the temperature in a while. It was 60 when it started. It feels like it's about 80, maybe 90. So it started at like 69 degrees this morning. The sun is there. So it should have about 4 or 5 more hours to go. My point of doing this was to see, because hot tubs can be pretty expensive to run, was to see if I can get a hot tub running, maintain the temperature in it without having to turn the heater on it. So if I can run the pump only and not have to run the heater, then that actually uses less power than that pool. With that said, it'll be really awesome to see if I can get this thing to stay heated. Yesterday, before I drained it because it got kind of dirty, I had it up to 95, I believe, 95 degrees, and that was one day. That started at 69, and that started about 12 o'clock, so about where the sun is now, to the end of the day. So this has had about 3 more hours of heating. So I expect this to get up at least that range. Now, you may be wondering, well, how's it going to maintain heat at night? Well, I mean, obviously I'm going to have to turn the pump on to circulate it, to filter it. I apologize if it's windy out here. I'm sorry for that. However, what can be done is when I get in it, I'm going to use the heater and the pumps, of course, to power the jets. But other than that, I'll try not to use the heater. I want to run the jets for an hour or 2 a day to filter it, circulate the water. But other than that, I'm really trying to not run that heater, because the heaters on these things take a lot of money. They're electric power heaters, so they take a lot of power to run. I had to run 40 amp service to it, so I tapped into my welder plug, which is 60 amp 240. I wired it through the house into this box here. Then I stepped it down I have to tie that up still, to 40 amps. So 40 amps going into the pool. The pool actually uses 34. I was suggested to use a 50 amp, but I went with a 40 because if it does spike up, I want this to trip. 50 amp. Once you get above about 40 amps, the breakers have a hard time tripping. So if anything does happen, I want it to be able to trip. Anyway, so like I said, the inside's actually not bad. I mean, it's definitely older. The outside doesn't look good at all. But when it's covered like this, you can never tell the difference. And when you're in it, you won't tell the difference. So I can't wait to get in it and see how it feels. Hopefully, I will update you later on with how this is going. I plan to make this much more permanent. Like I said, I'm just trying to see what I can accomplish with this thing. And I think this is much more feasible, because that's about 300, 400, 500 gallons, I would think. Like I mentioned before, that pump puts out 100 gallons an hour. So you figure if it's 400 gallons, 8 hours of run time, it'll turn that whole thing over twice, which means it would get it to a pretty good temperature. That pool is 15,000 gallons. 800 gallons of hot water would probably not do a whole lot to that thing. It would take weeks for these heaters to heat that thing up. Plus, it's in the wind. Plus, during the summer, the solar cover that's on it already brings that pool to about 98 degrees. Some days that pool gets so hot you can't get in it, and we have to uncover it. We've had that pool to 115 before, just how it sits. So I don't think it needs any more heat, but the hot tub would be nice. because I don't have to spend any money to heat it like it is. So, like I said, I will update you guys with more of these projects. Rate, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them. I kind of just figure this stuff out as I go, so I'll give you any knowledge I have. Thank you.